This is just beyond beautiful. This is the good life. I'm setting off on a little trip to celebrate the best life has to offer. Everything's beautiful, Ivan.
Beautiful.
The Italians talk about la dolce vita. What is la dolce vita? Are we living it now? Is it here? The French, la belle vie. La belle vie.
Et les bons vivants.
It's what inspires us, what makes us happy.
Wow, this is fun.
It's about great food and drink and fabulous company. Basically in an Italian dream here.
We are in Italian life. This is not a dream.
Appreciating glorious culture. Just kind of throbs with energy and dynamism. Radical and romantic and wild and dangerous. World-class art. I really think this is just gonna blow your mind. Soaking up landscapes that lift the soul. Great. Oh, I could get used to this. This time, I'm reveling in the magic of Venice. I defy you not to want to come back again and again. Dining out on Bologna's most delicious treats.
Parmigiano Reggiano.
And making new friends on the Italian Riviera. Why don't you join me? Last time, I found La Belle Vie in the romance of Paris and fell for the allure of the Côte d'Azur. Now I'm on my way to Italy and a city dubbed Queen of the Adriatic, Venice. With 118 islands in a vast lagoon, it feels a bit like a dream world. Travelling's one of my biggest passions, and Venice is a city made for travellers. On its waterways, I always feel like I'm sailing into a painting. It's no wonder that artists from Titian to Turner adored working here. It's been an inspiration to artists for generations and generations. And how could it not be? It's just so romantic. But before I start exploring, I'm checking into my hotel, Ca' di Dio, the House of God. And I've got to say, it's pretty stylish. Hi.
Good afternoon. Welcome in Ca' di Dio.
Thank you so much. So it's Bettany Hughes. It's one of Venice's oldest hotels. Super chic with 5 stars. It's fitting for a city that feels like a giant work of art.
The number of the room is 312.
Perfect. Thank you. All the details, the glass, fabrics and marble, aren't only elegant, but a nod to Venice's past. It's a perfect place for me to stay. And I've just got enough time to drop off my bag and check out my suite. Are you meant to be following me into the bedroom? And there's a particular reason I wanted to stay here. Hello, look at that view. Oh my God, Venice is just so beautiful, isn't it? I mean, that is quite extraordinary. This area is called Arsenale, a word from the East meaning armoury or warehouse, like our word arsenal. Today, it's Venice's art district, with a view over bustling canals that travellers have enjoyed for generations. I've chosen this particular hotel because in some ways it's almost like one of the oldest and one of the newest in the city, so it's just been renovated. But it started out life around 800 years ago as a hostel for pilgrims. I don't think they had quite such comfortable beds, because I know that they used to come here in these little dormitories and sleep on kind of straw pallets, but It's lovely, isn't it, to think that this is a view that people for all those centuries would have stopped and wondered at and just been amazed by as well. Venice is a city, I think, where it feels as though you can be in two times at once. I can't wait to get into the beautiful, beating heart of the city. And the first place I always come is St. Mark's Square. I have such fond memories of Venice. From when I first came 30 years ago, I remember seeing this piazza and being instantly entranced. Visitors have been coming here for years to marvel at its stunning basilica, its campanile, and, of course, Venice's lion. Little has changed. It's still alive and bustling with people, enjoying a drink or just soaking it all in. And if there's one thing you can expect in Italy, it's a good cup of coffee. This is so much more than a caffeine hit. There's no sprinting with takeaway cups here. And this piazza claims to be home to Italy's oldest cafe, dating right back to 1720. Coffee first arrived in Italy thanks to Venice's trade routes. But it wasn't a warm welcome. It was actually banned by the Catholic Church until, supposedly, the Pope tasted it and thought it was far too delectable to only be enjoyed by non-believers. Italy's the birthplace of our modern espresso machines, and this is proper cafe culture that comes with its own rules. Milky coffees, for example, are strictly for breakfast only, so no cafe lattes after 11. But I'm very happy to say I'm in time for my personal favourite, a good, strong cappuccino. That divine mix of steamed milk and intense espresso. Delicious. This is probably the best place to kick off a morning in Venice, in St. Mark's Square. And I love coming here because the coffee's very good, but I don't know, also it's brilliant because this is where people have always come to trade and to exchange goods and ideas. It's where you would have kind of massive festivals, and people say that Napoleon said that this square was the drawing room of Europe, where people would all come to meet. It's right in the centre of Venice. And it's also inspired artists, those are writers and poets, but also people who've painted the square. This is probably my favourite painting of the place by Canaletto, who's a beautiful artist in the 18th century. And he often knocked out these paintings to give to tourists and travellers who'd come here. And Venice still attracts that creativity today. Hi, buongiorno. Hi.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. This is fantastic. Look at that.
Disegna, espressione,
Really
immagine.
good. Molto bella.
E lei molto bella.
Ah, grazie,
grazie,
arrivederci, ciao. I'm in Venice, a city that's lured in travellers for centuries. Great, thank you very much. Great. One of the city's biggest draws is its art scene, and nothing sums that up more than the Venice Art Biennale. Biennale means every 2 years in Italian, and you might have seen other festivals called that, but they take the name from this original event that's been happening since 1895. Each country has their own space, with an artist showing their very latest work. I've actually never been before, and I'm really intrigued to experience it for myself. So you pretty much got everyone here. That's Venezuela, that's Japan, Great Britain, up at the top. It's like an Olympics of the art world. Being surrounded by this many people lapping up the creative energy is really inspiring. It's cool, isn't it? I also love a mosaic. Venice is fit to burst with Renaissance art. That was all cutting edge once, and it's genuinely exciting to think that I might be getting a glimpse into the masters of the future. How amazing that it's all still happening right here in Venice. To say it's an eclectic experience would be an understatement. I guess that's why art works, because, you know, everybody says that physically and psychologically we should always try to experience the new, that it's really good for us, it's good for our brains, it's good for our souls, it's good for our bodies. That was definitely new. I've never seen anything like that before, and it's made me think, and it's kind of got my heart rate going a bit as well. So there we are. That's what art does. That, you know, has to be a good thing, doesn't it? And next, I'm seeking out a woman who, like me, fell for the city's artistic charms. One person who lived on this canal and who absolutely loved it, and who I should say is, you know, she's a bit of a heroine of mine, was this amazing woman called Bettany Guggenheim. Now, somebody said that she collected people and pictures, and she was the most extraordinary socialite, as someone who really lived life to the full. But her real passion was art and artists, and she not only supported artists by helping to support their work and pay for their painting, but she collected extraordinary art too. And some of that collection is still here. I'm just about to go and see it. Guggenheim is one of the biggest names in the art world. It's on galleries from New York to Bilbao. But what's special about the Guggenheim in Venice is that it isn't just a gallery. It was Peggy's fabulous home. Peggy adored modern art. Her pioneering collection boasts amazing pieces from the likes of Kandinsky, Modigliani, Mondrian and Picasso. I'm just so lucky to see this. Her relationship with Venice was one of the biggest in her life. She said, to live in Venice or even to visit it means that you fall in love with the city itself. There is nothing left over in your heart for anyone else. And today, I'm sitting where Peggy enjoyed eating al fresco to meet her granddaughter, Carol Vale, who's now the director here. So just tell me, Peggy in Venice, I mean, it feels a bit like a love affair. So what drew her here, first of all?
She's asked, in fact, to show her collection at the 1948 Biennale. This Biennale was really a watershed moment for Peggy, a very exciting moment for her because it was the first time that she was able to show her whole collection. And in 1949, thanks to a friend, Peggy finds this house.
This is a huge question I'm just about to ask,
Yes.
and it's almost impossible to answer in a way. But she loved art. We love looking at art. In good times and in bad, we seek out beauty and we create art. Why does it matter, do you think? I mean, why do we need it in our lives?
Well, I think we need art for so many different reasons. I mean, for beauty, of course, but I think art is certainly inspirational. I think you can live art on so many different levels, and I think it's important for virtually every aspect of one's life.
Honestly, it's so exquisite. It's so cool. I've been so hot in Venice. It's just like dreamy to be in this kind of perfect garden, surrounded.
Yeah, and there's a little breeze, which is nice.
I know. And you must remember her fondly, do you?
Well, she was An interesting grandmother, let's put it that way. I don't think she was born to be a grandmother. I did spend holidays here when I was little, when I was a girl and an adolescent. Some moments were a little disturbing in that, for example, I mean, I would sleep in a bedroom surrounded by maybe some surrealist paintings, and a lot of these paintings are quite disturbing. I must say, one of my most wonderful memories about coming to Venice and spending time with Peggy was going around the canals of Venice in her private gondola, because that's the best way to discover Venice.
And boy, oh boy, did Peggy love her gondola. They've been a favourite here for more than 1,000 years, and I think it's only right I follow Peggy's lead. Canaletto actually sketched from a gondola back in the 1730s. Pretty impressive. In fact, his name means little canal. Today, my charming gondolier Ivan is showing me the sights. Everything's beautiful, Ivan.
Beautiful.
Whenever I'm travelling, I love spending time with locals. Of course, it means you can just learn so much more about a place. I'm always looking for recommendations, and author Savane Joel, a queen of the Venice scene, is next on my list to meet. Hi, Savane! Like Peggy, Savane was drawn to Venice and has made it her home for more than 20 years. Is this your house?
This is my house.
I want to know if living here is as romantic as it seems.
I'm kind of used. Nice to see you.
Pleasure, lovely to meet you.
How wonderful to be on a gondola.
I'm just in sort of raptures. It's all so beautiful. Is your husband?
Yes, my husband putting the Venetian flag.
Hello. I love the fact he's putting the flag out.
This is actually the Venetian flag that should always be hanged.
What I love about being here is it's a family place where real people live.
Especially this side of the Grand Canal where we are is mainly Venetian, just like being surrounded. You're never really alone in Venice.
Just being here, you know that art matters.
Art is a dominant question for Venice, and it's actually its life.
This is a pretty idyllic moment, isn't it?
It's so beautiful, yes.
I mean, you live in not just a palace, a beautiful palace on the Grand Canal. And, you know, some people would say, oh, that's absolutely the dream, and it does feel for the dream, but what's it like?
Living in Venice, it's a dream, but it is a responsibility to take care of these palazzi, which are extremely fragile. Our palazzo is from the 14th century, even when people shoot movies here, but nothing has changed since so many centuries.
I've got to say, this feels like the good life. This feels like la dolce vita.
Well, it's the slow life that a lot of people are trying to reach to, so yes, it is.
Succumbing to the timeless pace of Venice is one of its biggest charms. It really is my favourite city to get lost in. Think of those scenes in Brideshead, or films like Bond's Casino Royale, and of course, Don't Look Now. And it's easy to see why the beauty of Venice is so endlessly inspiring. On Savane's recommendation, it's the perfect time for an aperitivo. Even the drinks here, like my favourite Bellinis, are named after Venice's artists. I'm heading off the tourist track to the old gondola boatyards for some of the best cocktails in town, if we can make it under this bridge.
That was tight. Ah.
Seeing local Venetians pay daily homage canalside for aperitivo hour reveals the slower pace of living in the real Venice. And if you've already done Harry's Bar, you should definitely try it. They know how to do it right here, combining a strong drink with an Italian version of tapas called cicchetti, which means single dish. These snacks are a local delicacy and range from bite-sized crostini to crisp fritters. It's all pretty delicious. Is this just what Venetians do at the end of a day? You come and hang here and have a drink?
Yeah, definitely. This is something they will do. Like the aperitif is like the perfect time when you come here. You have just a drink with your friend, and everything feels like it's going to be great.
But that's so lovely. That is just because I know that's a tradition that's been going on for centuries here. So it really matters that you just come out onto the canals and chat and get ready for the next day.
Yes, I just finished work and then I came here to meet my friends and to hang out with them, and then we will have like this nice moment in a beautiful place like this one. You will enjoy the sunset, and especially this is the perfect time.
Yeah.
I love it when the sun goes down and you're just enjoying your drink, like having a chat. Yeah.
It's the good life, isn't it?
Yeah, I will say that. There is really nice.
Cheers! Salute! Salute! I'm always in awe of how gorgeous Venice is. It never fails to surprise me. It's like being in a time capsule of the Venetian Republic, which lasted for over 1,000 years. That's even longer than the Roman Empire. And if there's one place in the city that sums up Venice's glory days, it's the Doge's Palace. One of the most famous sights in the city, and a stunning combination of influences from both east and west, it was home to the city's elected duke, the Doge. The great and the good of the city came right here to discuss how to keep Venice top dog, or if you were a bad boy, you'd be banged up in one of its prison cells. So that's the Bridge of Sighs, as in sighing, not as in sighs. And it connects the Doge's Palace to the prison, and the idea was that people would sigh with despair as they went across it. This was the beating heart of Venice's ancient power, and I've been let in all by myself. This opulent palace is home to a room I've always wanted to see. The chamber of the Great Council. Look at this. Wow. I thought the courtyard was huge, but it's nothing compared to this. This is the biggest room in the whole palace, and actually one of the biggest rooms that was ever built in Europe. I love the fact that they're just so bold about their plans to kind of conquer the world, because all around here you've got the paintings of the kind of battles that they won and the trade negotiations that they just completely smashed. There's so much to take in. It's physically breathtaking. And this is the show-stopping centerpiece. Meet Il Paradiso, painted by none other than the Venetian master Tintoretto. It's one of the largest canvas paintings ever. with more than 500 figures. I mean, it just throbs with energy and dynamism and movement. Works like this are why art matters. It's been proven that our blood flow and serotonin levels are boosted when we appreciate good art. We don't just look at it, we feel it. It changes us. It's heavenly here. But don't forget, this palace was also a prison. And it once held Venice's most passionate son, Casanova, that wild scoundrel whose gambling and bedroom antics with nuns and virgins not only saw his name go down in history, but landed him behind bars right here. Being Casanova, there was a story he was determined to get out. He tried to break free once and failed. But then, with the help of a priest, he managed to drill his way through the wooden ceiling, lower himself down into a waiting gondola, and then make his escape to Paris and freedom. The free-loving, free-living Casanova wrote a sexy, sensuous memoir about the pleasures and joys of 18th century Venice. Some of it is pretty outrageous. He took the good life very seriously, and exploring these canals and streets, his nighttime playground, I can't help but think of him. He's addictively exciting to learn about. So he was obsessed with immersing himself in the pleasures of body and soul. And he said that the whole point of life is to pursue the pleasures of the senses. He declared, "I have loved women to a frenzy." And he brought this driving passion to everything he did, from romance to his writing. He was also a really smart man. So he translated poems and he composed music and poetry. So he kind of sums up the kind of dark passions of this city. I've been enjoying the uplifting beauty of Venice. But while I'm here, it'd be rude not to indulge in a little retail therapy, as travellers have always done for those Venetian specialities, velvet and glass. I always pick up presents for friends and family when I'm travelling. It's great because when you share a gift like this, you're also sharing a story.
Our traditional model is this one here. It's called the Modigliani, so rounded front.
I love that Venetians made these shoes in World War II, using offcuts of velvet and bike tyres. And now these Fulani slippers are a style statement, featured in fashion mags like Vogue. Today, one of the owners of Pied-à-Terre, Paul Deneve, is helping me choose, and I'm sure my best friend back home will just love them. Great. I'm going to get her a pair of those. Honestly, yeah, she'd love them.
They still make their fabrics here in Venice on centuries-old looms.
Beautiful. And it's not just Venetian velvet, but that popular souvenir Venetian glass that comes with its own story. To get the good stuff, you'll need to head across the lagoon. The thing about Venice is it's not alone. It's part of a whole network of islands around here. And there's one that I'm heading to now that produces something super, super beautiful. And I've bought presents here before, so I'm going to go and see if I can get one again today. The island of Murano is a total delight. Venice has been known for glass since way back when Roman craftsmen first settled by the lagoon. I love that there are still real artisanal glassmakers working here today. The glass is a gift of the lagoon, originally made using crushed pebbles, sand and the marsh plants that grew here. And I'm really excited because today I'm going to face the heat and join master glass artisan Simone Canadese at his furnace. Oh, so you make it. But I've bought these things before, but I've never come back here. I've not come back to the factory where they do it. And Simone's he's a third-generation glass maker, and I know that they've been producing glass like this here, pretty much with these techniques for around 1,000 years, and it was so ferociously protected as a skill that often the glassmakers weren't Simone. They wouldn't be allowed to leave the island. Simone, so how long does it take to make one glass? How long?
More or less half hour.
Half an hour for one glass?
More or less.
Okay, beautiful. It's very cool, you two. It's like a team, isn't it? Fantastic. So this is finished now?
It's finished, yes.
That's going to be so beautiful. I love it already. Each handmade piece is truly one of a kind. You can see why aristocrats on the Grand Tour came right here to get their gifts. And although I'd planned on giving this pair away, I think I might just have to keep them. It's nearing the end of my time in Venice, and it's always so hard to leave. On the water and after dark, it's just magical. The very first ever time that I came to Venice, I arrived by night, slightly randomly, but I've got to say very excitingly, with the circus troupe that my husband was producing at the time. And as you can probably imagine, I was just completely bewitched. I mean, it felt like I'd walked into some kind of a dream. It's almost addictive. If you experience this, I defy you not to want to come back again and again. I know I will. It's a city brimming with new experiences and life lessons every time you travel here. So this isn't farewell. It's just arrivederci. This morning, I'm leaving Venice far behind and I'm back on the road. Travelling really helps me think, and exploring Italy is a total joy, and I'm not sure there's a better way to do it than in a vintage Alfa Romeo. It's all feeling very Dolce Vita. While Venice is known for its arts and culture, my next stop has been dubbed the breadbasket of Italy. 80 miles southwest of Venice, Bologna is the capital of Emilia-Romagna and a medieval treasure trove. Sitting in the fertile Po River Valley, Bologna has always been a hub of abundant produce, which made it one of Italy's wealthiest cities. OK, so you've all heard of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. How about the Leaning Towers of Bologna? I mean, look at these two. These were built 800 years ago, and they're just incredible. That one is almost double the height of the Tower of Pisa. And you've got to try to imagine what it would have been like here in its heyday, because building one of these, it was part fortification, but it was part just a kind of show-off thing to do to prove that you had the money to construct it, and the dynasties competed to see who could build the tallest and the most. So in its heyday, there were around 200 of these bristling the skyline in Bologna. Isn't it brilliant, thinking of these families vying to make their mark on the city with these epic medieval skyscrapers? And apparently, they're also the secret to a dish we've all heard of, pasta bolognese. Named after Bologna, The original recipe says the tagliatelles width, and it must be tagliatelle, has to be exactly a 12,270th part of the height of the taller tower. That's 8 millimetres to you and me. This is definitely a city that takes food seriously. Bologna's got a reputation for three things: for being La Dotta, which means the learned place, La Rossa, partly because of the terracotta red bricks all around, and La Grassa, which means the fat. Now, I've never eaten meat, so bolognese isn't on the menu for me. But there's one speciality I can't wait to try: Italy's most famous cheese. You just explain to me what this is.
Parmigiano Reggiano, settembre
15.
2015.
This is the place for Parmesan, but I should say Parmigiano Reggiano because anything else is just an imitation. Only cheese made using cow's milk from this region is allowed to take the name, and it has to be aged for at least 12 months. This one has been ripening for 6.5 years. It was invented right here in the 13th century, and I can promise you it's not for the faint-hearted. It doesn't taste like anything I've had back home. Quite strong. Wow, look at that. How much for that huge chunk of Parmesan? Quanta? 53 euros. I know that's quite a lot of money, but that's also quite a lot of cheese, isn't it?
Questo è un ottimo prezzo.
Hey, Tim, would you like to try some?
Yep.
It's pretty strong.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. Now I've tasted Bologna's delicacies, I want to explore its vast network of porticos. These sheltered pavements cover 30 miles of the city. Pretty handy, as the weather isn't exactly on my side today. Not that that seems to stop locals and visitors relishing Bologna's renowned food scene. There are cafes and bars everywhere. Who can blame them when everything from the local balsamic vinegar, the handmade tortellini, inspired, it's said, by the navel of Venus, has the reputation of being the best you can get. And as Italy is one of the world's biggest producers of wine, and I've tasted quite a bit of cheese, I think it's only right to have a lovely glass of Italian vino. Oh, I was just saying how much I'd like a glass of wine. That looks fantastic. Thank you. I'm travelling across Italy in search of its most enriching experiences. And for my next stop, I'm heading west to the Ligurian coast. This glorious stretch is known as the Italian Riviera. It was the stomping ground of some of my all-time greatest literary heroes, Lord Byron and the Shelleys, poetic pioneers who took Italy to their hearts and could teach us a thing or two about living well. I can't wait to follow in their footsteps. This is Porto Venere, and there are lots of reasons to come to this place. Its name probably comes from Venus, who was the Roman goddess of love and desire. But I also love it because it drew in one of my favourite characters from history, Lord Byron. He was that man who was radical and romantic and wild and dangerous, and this fantastic coastline helped to inspire some of his beautiful poetry. Byron was at the forefront of the Romantic movement. Often joined by his friends, the Shelleys, poet Percy Shelley and his wife, the author Mary, this group spent years exploring and enjoying Italy. Mary, who went on to pen that Gothic favourite Frankenstein, said, "The name of Italy has magic in its very syllables. For the Romantics, Italy was a haven, offering the Renaissance ideals of beauty, art and literature, and that's the promise that made me first pack my bags to come here too. Although I didn't have quite as much with me as Byron. There are these very interesting accounts of what Byron would travel with, kind of basically what he had in his household. Huge numbers of animals. There is no way he'd have been able to fit into any of those lovely, sweet little tall, thin houses there. So listen to what he took with him around Italy. 10 horses, 8 dogs, 3 monkeys, obviously, 5 cats, 1 eagle, a crow, a falcon, 5 peacocks, no less, 2 guinea hens, and an Egyptian crane. So clearly not a man who liked to travel light. And I thought my bags were rammed. But frankly, I'd forgive him anything because, you know, his verses are just so gorgeous, they're so romantic. Just listen to this. She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes. It's kind of sizzlingly romantic. Travel fueled Byron's creativity. He fled Great Britain to escape debts and one too many affairs. Byron was so popular, the phrase Byron mania described the hordes of women who swooned over his sensual words. And frankly, I'm a little bit in love with him too. It's incredible to think that he sat here, gazing at the view I'm admiring today. This bay is actually called the Bay of Poets because Byron wasn't alone here. He came here partly because his friend Shelley, so Percy Shelley, and his wife Mary Shelley lived here. Byron adored plunging into the crystal sea. To visit the Shelleys, it's said he undertook an epic 8-kilometre swim across these waters. Percy Shelley wrote that they spent their time in this divine bay, reading dramas and sailing and listening to the most enchanting music. How idyllic is that? Local Italians still meet up to honour the English poets who so loved their land. And I'm being accepted as an honorary Byron superfan. It's a warm Italian welcome, which means everyone coming together and pitching in. And there's only one thing that would be right to serve, as this is the hometown of pesto, made from fragrant basil, that super strong Parmigiano Reggiano, Tuscan pine nuts, oil and garlic. Pesto in Liguria is as important as poetry. And it's a real step up from the stuff we get out of jars back home. Versions of the recipe date back to ancient Rome, and Ligurians seem to have perfected it. So I've just got one question that you think, because I love living in the past in my head and imagining Byron here and Shelley and Mary Shelley. I mean, it's pretty beautiful. What do you think is so special about this place? Why do you think all these guys? Because they could have gone anywhere.
You got the view, you got the nice sun, temperature, the sea.
Ours is like un abbraccio.
Like an embrace, like a cuddle. Yeah. Cuddle, yeah. That's such a beautiful thing to say. It is. It's like To think of this place as an embrace is just perfect. If there's anything that sums up travelling in Italy, it's being surrounded by beauty, culture, and the warmth of the people you meet. And for me, life doesn't get much better. It's fantastic, isn't it, to think that, you know, all those superstars of the past, so Byron and the Shelleys and the other people who came here were inspired by this place, probably came and looked at this view and kind of felt good about themselves, because that's one of the reasons to travel. It can seem very self-indulgent and that you're just letting your hair down and having a good time. But also, you come to places like this to live and to love and to learn a bit and to kind of end up a better version of yourself. And if you travel, I don't know, if you travel with an open heart, it means that you experience the lives of all kinds of different people, and you really appreciate the best of what it is to be human.